Bible just called it.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. I meant that. Let's go.
Excuse me, guys. Yes.
All
We're
right,
not
bro.
gonna be the Israelites.
Now, you know his nationality? You know what people he derived from?
What tribe?
What tribe? You know what tribe he derived from?
No, I don't know what tribe, but I know he came out of one. I'm not sure which tribe.
Let me show you something right quick. I'm just going into my question to you.
It's the book of Hebrews, chapter 7, verse 14. For it is evident that our Lord
Our Lord Christ,
sprang out of Judah.
he said he sprang out of Judah, the tribe of Judah, out of the 12 tribes, right? Now, the thing about it is they changed it in this color, right? Now look at this. Why they got people in the land that's saying that look like this, saying that they from the tribe of Judah. Something's wrong here. If this is the king of Judah and he looks like this, so who are his people if he's the king of Judah? Shouldn't his people look like this?
Sure.
Who is his people?
We are.
We're his people? How can I prove that?
How can you prove it? Well, how can you prove it? Best way I can we can prove it is to get on our own.
Well, that's one way. Is there a better source or better way in the Bible that could prove that we his people?
Well, if you look at the ancient world, if you go back to Africa where everything began at, there you go.
Well, they say like right around Babylon is the cradle of it, right? That'd be so-called, what they call now the Middle East, right? So I agree with that. I'm not saying that. But is it anything in the Bible where I could go in the Bible and prove that we the people?
Yes.
Well, what can I do?
I don't read the Bible enough to tell you that.
You want to learn, you want to show, so you can teach other people. Let me show you something, right? You heard of Moses, right?
Right.
Now, let me show you, what color Moses was?
Black.
Can we prove it, though?
I'm going to show you the proof it.
Yeah, let's find that.
I'm going to show you
It's the
the
book
proof
of
I'm about to
Exodus,
show you right
chapter
quick.
4, verse 6. And the Lord said furthermore unto him.
Now, this is God sending Moses back to Pharaoh, right? Showing you that we not Egyptians.
Right.
Because he told Pharaoh, he said, let my people go, meaning that the Israelites were separate people than the Egyptians, right? So this is God sending Moses, and he going to show him a sign. Check the sign out.
And the Lord said furthermore unto him, put now thy hand into thy bosom.
He told Moses, take your hand and put it into your coat.
And he put his hand into his bosom. And when he took it
When he took it out,
behold, his hand was leprous as snow.
he said his hand was leprous as snow. Snow is white. So it said his hand turned white. Now check this out.
Verse 7. And he said, put thy hand into thy bosom again.
He said, put it back in your coat.
And he put his hand into his bosom again and plucked it out
I plucked it out.
of his bosom.
Right.
And behold, his hand was turned again as his other flesh.
So it turned back the color that it was. So it would have been a miracle if he was already white.
You know,
He couldn't have been white already.
white.
He had to be at least a colored man, right? All right. Now, remember he went to Pharaoh, said, let my people go, split the Red Sea, and brought him across the length. Look what he told him. Go to 28 and 1.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 1.
Watch what he told the Israelites.
And this shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments,
He said, if you observe to do all of God's commandments,
which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
so he told the Israelites, he said, if y'all keep God's commandments, y'all gonna be above everybody on the planet. Y'all not gonna be at the bottom, you're gonna be above. Let's see the flip side.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God,
He said, if you don't listen,
to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses,
all these what?
all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So he said, if you don't listen, he said these curses gonna come on you. Let's find out what they chose.
It's the book of Daniel, chapter 9, verse 11. Yea, all Israel have transgressed thy law,
So they broke it.
even by departing, that they might not obey thy voice.
They didn't listen.
Therefore, the curse
That curse,
is poured upon us.
he said that curse is poured upon the Israelites, right?
And the oath that is written in the law of Moses,
Uh-huh.
the servant of God,
Uh-huh.
because we have sinned against him Verse 12.
Check this out.
And he hath confirmed his
He
words,
said he made that curse come to pass, right?
which he has spake against us, and against our judges that judged us,
Our greatest judge is Christ, right?
by bringing upon us
Bringing upon the Israelites.
a great evil.
Can you think of what's the worst thing ever happened to black people?
But they ripped from inside out.
Well, I mean, overall, what's the worst thing happened to us as a nation?
As a nation, we've been separated
Think about this, right?
from our God and everything.
That's one thing, but also, how did that happen?
In the land that we was.
Look at this. This is slave ships.
Right.
The worst thing ever happened to us was slavery, because right along with slavery came us cutting us open, taking our God and all that stuff, but it all came with slavery.
Right.
The worst thing ever.
Through the middle passage.
Right. There you go. Check this out. Finish that off.
Under the whole
He
heaven
said under the whole heaven, everybody that's on earth,
have not been done, has been done upon Jerusalem.
upon the Israelites. He said the Israelites had the worst thing done to them over anybody. So who had it worse? Who have it worse than anybody on this planet?
That's like it.
Us.
Right.
So that's one clue of how we could prove that with the Israelites. But let's go back to the curses. Let's find out these curses.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
He said the Lord, one of these curses said the Lord is going to bring you into Egypt again. The word Egypt, he's about to show you what that means.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 2. I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of
He
Egypt,
said, I'm the Lord thy God that brought you out of the land of Egypt.
out of the house of bondage.
So he's calling Egypt the house of bondage or slavery.
Okay.
Right? So when he's bringing this out in Deuteronomy 28, 68, watch what he said.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again
He said, but the Lord, he's not talking about the landmass. He said, the Lord gonna bring you back into slavery again.
with
He
ships,
said, but this time you're going on cargo slave ships, right?
by the way whereof I spake unto thee.
He said, in the same way I'm telling you, it's the same way it's gonna happen.
Thou shalt see it no more again.
And he said, by the way, you're not gonna see your homeland anymore either. Right?
And there
He said, once you got out them slave ships,
ye shall be sold,
you're gonna be what?
sold
He said, you're gonna be sold
unto your enemies.
to your friends.
Unto your enemies.
Who were we sold to when we got off them slave ships? What did the Bible just call them?
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. I meant that. Let's go.
Excuse me, guys. Yes.
All
We're
right,
not
all
going to be the Israelites that divide North off.
This is the book of Mark, chapter 4, verse 14. The soul showed the word, and these are way by the wayside. For the word was shown, but when he had heard it, Satan comes immediately.